Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to this channel. Today's video, I'm gonna be talking about a gentleman's guide to business. Let's go ahead and get into this video. So, like I said, today we're gonna be talking about business. You know, I'm all about being a gentleman, and in today's video, like I mentioned, we're gonna be talking about a gentleman's guide to business. How to start a business as a gentleman. If you wanna, have a full-scale business with a couple of employees, if you want to be more of a freelancer or more of an entrepreneur, bouncing from business opportunities to business opportunities, whatever flavor of business works for you, this guide is going to make sure you handle business straight and you perform to the most of your abilities as a businessman, as a gentleman. Let's dive into it. So step number one in the guide, which I'm coining the term, gentleman's guide to business. Step number one, or guide number one to business, would be outsourcing. Outsourcing. A lot of people look at business like in the lens of having to fulfill all the services, all the goods, all the products to their clients or to their clients themselves as much as possible. No, you do not have to do that. When running a business, you can always outsource. When charging, always include the fees of outsourcing that service, that product, whatever it is your business entails. Most likely, if you're a businessman, it's most likely a service to another business or to consumers or customers. Whatever that business model is, always include the price of outsourcing. When I say outsourcing, I don't mean outsourcing to fucking India or China. You can outsource to other people. You can find fulfillment in the United States. I'm in the United States, so obviously I'm talking about the United States. So when doing business and getting clients, onboarding clients, always have at the back of your mind to outsource. You either have to hire people who are going to be doing the jobs, performing the services, fulfilling the services full-time, part-time, or you have people on rotation, seasonal, however you want it to, to go. Whatever you're doing, try to find people who are going to be able to do that stuff, fulfill to the clients while you focus yourself on the business, on scaling the business, on managerial, issues and stuff like that, networking, pitching, sales, marketing, and all that stuff, do the more executive stuff within the business. Let other people, could be, like I said, full-time employees, part-time employees, seasonal employees, contractors, freelancers, let them handle the fulfillment to the clients or customer while you do the executive stuff. Trying to do the executive stuff, man, you would never grow as a business. You're taking all that executive time and putting it into, fulfillment, and no one's gonna be there to perform executively. So I would rather you perform executively and find people, which is much more easier to do once the client pay you. Typically in business, it's like 50% upfront or 30%, depending on whatever industry you're in. Let's say 50% upfront. You get the 50% upfront. You find people to start the fulfillment, start the service of whatever the business is, and you get the remaining of the money. You take your profit, you take your own pay, you pay the contractors or the employees, the rest of the money. That's how I would recommend you starting out a business, especially as a beginner. If you're a beginner in business, that's how I would recommend you go about doing business. Always outsource as much as possible. Try, understand how the fulfillment works, obviously. If you're starting a business, I would assume you have experience in that line of work. You have experience in that industry. I would assume you've done it as a technician, and now you're working your way up to a business in that industry. If you just, have a little bit of cash, you know nothing about that industry, that's a different case. Then I would recommend you spending a year in that industry, doing the fulfillment yourself, learning every aspect of it. Then after the first year, then buy your time back, buy yourself out by employing a full-time employee or a part-time employee, or getting a freelancer, contractor, or a seasonal contractor to fulfill your services to your customers and clients. Number two, negotiation. Negotiation. A lot of people, especially new guys who are new to business, they fuck up a lot when it comes to negotiation. they do not negotiate. They just take whatever the customers throw them because they're just thinking, I just want to make money, you know what I'm saying? Especially during the bidding. What is negotiation? Let's start with that. Negotiation is basically you and your customer or your client come into an agreement that this is how much they're gonna pay you to fulfill certain services to them. You know what I'm saying? So negotiation doesn't have to be set. It's flexible. It's flexible. When a client asks you this is why I'm not a big fan of a set price when it comes to business. I try to throw out numbers, especially in the high end. Then the customer tells me what they're willing to pay. Then now I have a range I can work with. Okay, this is the high end I'm asking for. This is how much the customer is willing to pay. Now we can work from, from this top to this bottom and see, a level that works for both of us, rather than just giving a fixed price. And you may be lucky, you may have customers who are willing to pay that price. They don't have an issue with it, they just pay. You have customers who may not be able to afford it. You have customers who are gonna undercut you. So in order to find the sweet spot, I would always recommend throwing out the highest number you could possibly throw out, especially if you're a competent businessman and you can fulfill that services to the core. I would always recommend throwing the highest number you could throw out. Let them come in, let them step in and mention where they see themselves in, the range they can afford. Then you make that cut out the extra bottom and work from that middle to that top number you threw out. Find the sweet spot that works for you guys. I never recommend having a fixed price. Yeah, if you have a continuity customer, someone who buys from you on a consistent basis, yeah, that works. But when you're signing in a new client or a new customer, it's a one-time thing. Throw out the most you can throw out and find that sweet spot. Like I said, you could be lucky. You make more than you would normally make. You could be within your average, or you're gonna get the price regardless you typically charge other people. So it's a win-win situation. You're not losing anything at the end of the day. You're not gonna undercut yourself. You're not gonna go below your typical price point. So you might as well throw in a higher price point. You'd be surprised. Some people are gonna be able to afford it. It's none of your business. If they're able to afford it, you're able to fulfill the service. It's a win-win situation. You made more money. So don't undercut yourself. Don't be fucking retarded. Always throw out a higher number and have a room for negotiation between yourself and the client to see whatever sweet spot you guys come to conclusion on. Whatever works for both of you people works for both of you people. The third, number 3, when it comes to business, is having a flexible rate. It goes hand in hand with that negotiation. Your rates gotta be flexible. Like I said, don't have a set price, especially when you're signing in a new client. When you have a previous client who is on a residual, who hires you guys on a continuity basis. If you have a client who hires you guys on a continuity basis, you can have a fixed price for that client. That client has, the client, what the fulfillment takes, what it's gonna cost you to, fulfill to that client. So you have your fixed price with your profit included, your margins, and all that stuff. That's good. But if it's a new client, especially in business, as an entrepreneur especially, or a freelancer or a solopreneur, whatever type of business it is, obviously not a large organization, even a small business, it works. I would recommend not having a flat rate. Be as dynamic as possible, have a flat rate, like I said, for continuity customers and clients. But in terms of onboarding new clients and new people into the business, have a range, throw out a range. Have them, tell you their budget, then work from there. That is the best way to make profit, because we are in the business of making profit. That's the whole point of business, to make profit, to generate revenue. Not only revenue, but profit. Because it's one thing generating revenue, it's another thing generating profit. Profit and revenue are two different things. So everyone who's in business is in the business of generating profit. You want as much profit as possible. In order to get as much profit as possible, you have to maximize negotiation to its fullest capabilities by always throwing out a number as high as possible. Obviously, a number that's within the industry, within the scope of the industry. Don't throw out a stupid fucking number if it's outside the scope of the industry. For instance, let's say you are a carpenter or a handyman, for instance. Someone wants to hang in a television in your city and they hire you, they call you, they're asking you for the price. Let's say in your city, the price ranges anywhere from $100 to $300. but you charge clients 180 to 200. In this scenario, when you have an inbound client looking for this, I would say, hey, I am able to do this job for between $250 to between $300. How much are you willing to pay for this? If they say, I can't pay $300, but I can do $250. Like, you know what? Because you're a first-time client, I would like to work with you. Let's go ahead and do, $250. You just made an extra $50 for work you would have done, for fucking 200 or 180. You added an extra $50 in profit. So that's the scope you gotta see it in. That's the lens you have to see it in when it comes to business. Being as dynamic as possible. If you're not an enterprise, it doesn't work for enterprise. If you're an enterprise business, this is not gonna work for you. I'm talking to small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, freelancers. That's the people I'm talking to. That's the people that subscribes to my channel, and that's the people this video is for. Be as dynamic with your price, have a range. Don't try to charge everyone the same amount. There's certain clients you're gonna charge a little bit lesser because you may get 1 or 2 benefits in the long run. There's certain clients you may want to charge as high as possible outright because they may be problematic or whatever. And there's certain clients where having a nice, medium, your actual price works for them. You just have to find, you have to be in business to have an eye for those clients and see where they fall. Because there's always going to be 3 types of clients. The ones who always want extra, way more than your services actually entails. The ones who are fine with the services as long as you do a good job. And the ones who cannot afford your services but really want your services, and they're gonna be continuity customers in the long run. So yeah, that's where the 3 ranges falls into. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. This video idea came through a tweet I made on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, smars, smars.z on Twitter. That is my Twitter. Let's get this channel to 100,000 followers before the end of the year. My Twitter, my Instagram, my YouTube, all social media to 100,000 followers by the end of the year. 2024 is going to be all your boys, and I'm going to see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.